Just 4 years ago, Deebo Samuel was one of the most explosive players in the NFL.
Stands in, going deep, going for it all, and it's caught for the touchdown! In front, Samuel down the sideline, spinning his way, inbounds into the end zone.
As a receiver, he had over 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns, 365 rushing yards, and 8 rushing touchdowns. But now, his production has fallen off, and he's making headlines for all the wrong reasons.
Deebo Samuel tweeted, "Not struggling at all, just not getting the ball," with a bunch of exclamation points.
I mean, you read what you read. A little frustrated for sure.
And then, the very next game, he went out and does this.
Field, flare him out, and the pass caught and then dropped. Had the first down and maybe a touchdown.
Did y'all hear all the boos from his own home crowd? Man, what happened to Deebo? It all started at Chapman High School in South Carolina. Deebo was a dog on the field. He wasn't just a receiver, he was a Swiss Army knife. His senior year was nothing short of spectacular. He led the Panthers to an 11-4 record and a spot in the AAA playoff semifinals. His stat line for the final year was jaw-dropping: 61 catches for 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns. But his impact wasn't just limited to offense. He was also that guy on the defensive side with 94 tackles and 12 interceptions over his high school career, proving he could dominate on both sides of the ball. But over his high school career as a whole, he accounted for 166 receptions, 2,700 yards, and 36 touchdowns. He also got the ball out the backfield 133 times, adding another 898 yards on the ground and 13 touchdowns. The pinnacle of his high school achievements came in the form of a high school record that still stands today: 53 career touchdowns. This, along with his rare all-around play, earned him an Offensive Player of the Year and a spot in the Shrine Bowl of the Carolinas. By the end of it all, he had a 4-star rating from 24/7 Sports. Rivals considered him the 53rd receiver in the nation and the 17th best player in the state. Despite offers from several Power 5 programs like Maryland, UNC, and Vandy, he chose to stay close to home and committed to the University of South Carolina.
I make my selection. University of South Carolina.
Yes, sir. I guess little man had other plans. However, the transition to college ball was not without its challenges. In 2014, he arrived in Columbia and decided to redshirt his freshman year. However, after a whole year of sitting out from football, in his first college game in 2015, he tweaked his hamstring in the season opener, and he missed the next 7 games, limiting him to just 5 games this season with only 12 catches for 161 yards and 1 kick return for 24 yards. 2016, he was close to hanging the cleats up because he pulled his hamstring again in week 2.
Turner, and he wants to go deep on the first play, and it's overthrown. Intended for Deebo Samuel, who pulled up, had his hand on his hamstring like he may have hurt himself.
And that was open. That was a touchdown post route to Samuel, who pulled up lame with another hamstring injury.
Pulled a hamstring again. I was like, oh my God, why does this keep happening? I was getting real down. I was like, man, I don't know if I still want to play.
But it wasn't as bad as 2015, and he played in 10 games this season. Deebo led your team with 59 receptions for 783 yards, adding another 98 yards on the ground and 6 touchdowns, and even threw for a 33-yard touchdown pass. His kick return skills were equally impressive, averaging 26.9 yards per return, and finished the year with 431 return yards and 1 score. The 2017 season began with Deebo as the team's star. In just 3 games, he racked up 6 touchdowns across receiving, rushing, and kick returns. However, that injury bug just wouldn't leave him alone. In week 3 versus Kentucky, after scoring a touchdown on the first play of the game,
Next to him. And on the first play, they're trying to pop it over the middle. It's Deebo, and Deebo Samuel's got the sideline. Yes, sir. 1 play, 1 score.
he suffered a broken leg in this game, which ended his season.
When did Deebo get hurt? And
It was on the curl right on their sideline. I believe that's when he got rolled up. He came off the field and he tried to go again and didn't think. I believe it's his fibula. I don't have all the information, but I know that he's going to be out for the year.
how big a blow is that for you guys?
What do you think?
With prayers and encouragement from his family, he decided to return his redshirt senior year in 2018, determined to leave a lasting legacy one last time, and he did not disappoint. In 12 games, he hauled in 62 catches for 882 yards and 11 touchdowns. This season, he showcased his NFL potential. In a game against rival Clemson, he had 10 catches for 210 yards and 3 touchdowns against the top-ranked Tigers. His college career highlights include a school record with 4 career kick return touchdowns, tied the school record with 14 receptions in a single game, finished 8th in South Carolina history with 148 career receptions, and amassed 3,457 all-purpose yards, ranking 8th in school history. His 30 total touchdowns spanning receiving, rushing, kick returns, passing, and even a fumble recovery cemented his place as one of the most electrifying players in Gamecocks history. In 2019, the 49ers selected a promising dynamic playmaker in the second round.
This is the 49ers select Deebo.
Not even knowing they just had acquired a player who will redefine offensive versatility in the modern NFL. His impact to the game was immediate. As a rookie, he showcased his unique blend of receiver and running back that caught defenses off guard. This season, he had 3 games over 100 yards receiving, twice against Seattle and Arizona. He became a key factor in the 49ers offense, helping propel the team to the Super Bowl. Despite the loss, Deebo left his mark with 5 receptions for 39 yards and 3 carries for 53 yards, showcasing his dual threat capabilities on the biggest stage. But it was the 2021 season when Deebo truly exploded onto the national scene. The 49ers, recognizing his unique skill set, began lining him up in the backfield more frequently, about 11% of the time. This wide back role allowed him to terrorize defenses in ways they had never seen before. This season was historic for him. He joined an elite group of running backs, Roger Craig, Marshall Faulk, and Christian McCaffrey, as the only players to amass 1,000 receiving yards and 5 rushing touchdowns in a single season. He was a Swiss Army knife on the field. He could line up wide, in the slot, and in the backfield. He could catch a deep ball, turn a short pass into a long gain, or take the handoff and bullet those defenders to find the end zone. This Swiss Army knife approach made him a nightmare for defensive coordinators and a dream for his own coaching staff. His breakout year earned him first-team All-Pro and a Pro Bowl. He finished the regular season with 1,400 receiving yards, 365 rushing yards, and 14 total touchdowns, 6 receiving and 8 rushing, which set an NFL record for a wide receiver. His ability to impact the game in multiple ways made him a focal point for the 49ers offense alongside George Kittle. And he continued to shine in the playoffs that season. He set an NFL record in a wildcard game against the Cowboys for the most rushing yards by a primary receiver in a playoff game during the Super Bowl era, including his 9th rushing touchdown of the year. The rise of the young star took an unexpected turn in 2022, marking the beginning of a challenging period. Just like any other player that just produced like he did, he wanted to get paid for it properly. As the 2022 offseason began, his relationship with the 49ers soured, and it was reported he requested a trade from the team in April that year.
We have some breaking news out of the NFL. This is huge. That Deebo has asked the Niners to trade him.
He no longer wants to be there. He wants to join another team. He wants to be traded.
The trade request came in more than a week ago, and the 49ers have been aware of Deebo's feelings for a while.
While he didn't publicly come out and speak about the specifics, rumors swirled that his usage in Kyle Shanahan's offense was a point of contention. The wide back role that made him a sensation was now allegedly causing friction.
Here's where Deebo Samuel, I think, understands this. Dude, I've been hurt. I am physical. This offense leans into my physicality, not away from it. I got to get money.
Despite the tension, the 49ers stood firm. Kyle Shanahan revealed they looked at a few trade offers, but found nothing remotely close to Deebo's value. The 3-month stalemate finally broke on July 31st when Samuel signed a 3-year, $71.5 million contract extension.
Faithful, another long journey, 3 more years to go. Let's go, Faithful. Now we're back to work, baby. Let's go.
The 2022 season proved to be a struggle, with Samuel describing his own performance as awful.
How would you assess your season last year?
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Awful.
Yeah.
In what way?
Every aspect. Just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that, and I never put nothing like that back on tape again.
However, the contract drama had taken its toll. He admitted that the process was a distraction, which set him back in conditioning and preparation.
I was kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit for us, being in my routine that I normally be in for us the offseason, getting ready to play because, like I said, a lot of distractions was going on. But, I kind of felt it, but I was just, trying to will my way to help the team in every aspect possible.
Injuries further compounded his woes that year, as ankle and hamstring injuries sidelined him for 5 games. From over 1,400 yards in 21, he dropped down to only 632 yards on a season, with 2 receiving and 3 rushing touchdowns. The following season saw his spotlight continue to dim. His production slightly increased, but it was still incredibly down, failing to recapture the magic from his breakout years. But I do have to throw this one game in there from the season against the Eagles. That 2021 Deebo was in full effect. 4 catches, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns, with another 3 carries and 22 yards and a touchdown off the backfield. However, questions arose about his conditioning, dedication, and fit within the 49ers' evolving offense. The once electrifying playmaker who had redefined offensive versatility now found himself fighting to remain relevant. The 2024 season brought in a whirlwind of controversy for Deebo. In what appeared to be an attempt to a fresh start, Deebo made the decision to change his jersey number from 19 to 1. While some fans embraced the change, others saw it as a distraction from his on-field struggles. The number switch, coupled with adding senior to the nameplate, sparked debates about Samuel's focus and priorities. Somebody in the comments saying to signify the number of routes he can run from the route tree and the number of years he has left in San Francisco. But as the season progressed, tension in the locker room began to surface. The boiling point came in a crucial game against the Buccaneers. After a series of missed field goals by kicker Jake Moody, Deebo's frustrations got the best of him and he exploded on the sideline, in which the moment caught on camera, he grabbed long snapper Tabor Pepper by the neck while yelling at Moody.
I have not seen the throat grab of your own teammate in a while.
There's no way to defend this behavior. Literally no way. You protect your teammates all time.
What if he drops 2 passes on the last drive and we lose the game? He grabs his face mask or he gets in his face. You think Deebo gonna be cool with that?
Brothers scuffle a little bit. I didn't see any of it, so I don't know how bad it was, but if it hasn't been fixed already, we'll fix it on the plane and we'll go back to loving each other tomorrow.
Deebo later downplayed the incident, stating,
Really close game, and I kind of got out of character a little bit, but I'll talk to Moody and we'll get past it.
He was telling him to lock in, and we know what our job is.
However, the damage was done. The altercation raised serious questions about his leadership and emotional control, which rumors began to circulate that his status as a team captain was in jeopardy.
There's conversations about people feeling like you're not a leader this year. You need the C taken off of your chest. What's your response to that?
It's kind of crazy, taking the C off my chest because, me having that altercation with my long snapper. But at the end of the day, I went to my kicker and told him that he needed to lock in and, we needed him to win this game. And it turned into something that it should have never been. But so if my peers and everybody around me feel like that I deserve to have a C on my chest, then I'm wear it with pride.
Then the craziest thing happened. After finally winning in Week 14 versus the Bears after a 3-game losing streak, Deebo had a few things to get off his chest.
Deebo Samuel tweeted, "Not struggling at all, just not getting the ball," with a bunch of exclamation points.
Deebo Samuel's the team captain. That's not how team captains carry themselves. What
feelings or what you wanted to convey with that?
I mean, you read what you read.
A little frustrated for sure.
But I wanted to do a little research and compare his touches from his previous years up until his first 12 games of the season. And what I found was in his first 12 games of the past 2 seasons, he has seen nearly the same amount of touches. The 22 and 21 season also mirrored one another. So the only thing I could come up with is he's feeling the way he is because they're not winning.
What has been the most frustrating year for you since being in the NFL?
This year for sure. It gets frustrating because we know what we're capable of.
Deebo feels if the ball is in his hands, they can get the job done. Kyle Shanahan was asked about Deebo's touches and said this.
Does he express any frustration with you?
Deebo and I talk every day, so I understand Deebo saying that. Deebo wants to help us out, and the only way he helps us out is getting the ball more, and we'd like to get it to him more, and we'll continue to work at that.
The very next game, Deebo's wish was granted, and he's seen the most targets since Week 11. And just to quickly sum up this horrible game, this is how it went for Deebo.
Flare him out, and the pass caught and then dropped over the middle. Had the first down and maybe a touchdown.
Boos from your own crowd is crazy, but a wide open touchdown pass, he dropped it. He was getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and surprisingly, he also had a tackle on his own teammate. I guess if he don't eat, nobody can eat.
Frustrating was it out there?
Very, very frustrating. Just that ball, it's nothing there but the end zone. At the end of the day, just got to catch that rock. Came across the middle and see nothing but the end zone at the end of the day. Got to look the ball in and go score.
The decline from an NFL superstar to a player struggling to make an impact is a complex tale of expectations, physical toll, and internal battles. The $73.5 million contract extension he signed in 2022 brought a lot of pressure. Once a dynamic playmaker, he found himself burdened by the weight of his own paycheck. Every dropped pass and underwhelming performance, he was scrutinized.
And that's why you don't complain about when you don't catch it, because now you see how you make yourself look foolish when you start complaining, and then you drop a touchdown. But
years of punishing hits as a wideback began to take their toll. The explosive that once defined his game seemed to fade. His yards after contact per rush plummeted to a career low 1.2 this season. Even 49ers legend Jerry Rice weighed in on Deebo.
After you complain about not getting that many touches, you cannot drop the football. I mean, because everybody is going to get down on you, and they're going to come after you.
What y'all think? Do Deebo needs out of San Francisco, or is it just time for him to hang up his cleats?